Hey, what's up everyone? David here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do a discussion type video all about Soul Hackers 2 and the controversy surrounding the release. We have a lot of topics that we want to discuss, just our excitement level in general, the collector's edition that was exclusive to the Atlus shop in terms of the West, the Day 1 DLC or the Day 1 DLCs because there's a bunch. The sales potential of the game in general, but also without a Switch version at launch. What is the impact of the Persona announcements that were revealed 2 months before Soul Hackers 2 releases? P5 are in October as well. And we're going to talk about the marketing for the game in the West. And joining me today to discuss all those topics is good friend of the channel, KingNarukami45. How are you doing, friend?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk some Soul Hackers. I try to refrain from talking too much about Soul Hackers 2 because I want to go in as blind as possible, but I am hyped. You will hear that I am hyped for the game. It's just, there's a lot to discuss about it.
Yes, sir, and that's what we're here to do today, so thank you for joining me, man. And you guys, check out King Narukami's channel. He runs a YouTube channel, great content, great video about Persona 3 last week as well. So you make sure to check him out. Link to his channel is down in the description below. And before we start, I'm also running a Soul Hackers 2 Japanese PlayStation 5 Collector's Edition of the game. English only, free worldwide shipping. If you win, all you have to do to enter is make sure you're subscribed to my channel and then you click the link down in the description below. You can also follow me on Twitter for additional entries. But now, let's get right into it. What is your excitement level for Soul Hackers 2? You just briefly mentioned how you're excited for the game in general. Let's say out of 10, what would you grade it, your excitement level?
I know we're going to get into it later. My excitement level will be a little higher if the marketing was a little better here in the West. I'd probably say probably 8.5 out of 10 right now. And the reason I'm leaving that 1.5 out is, one, because of the marketing, and two, it's like, I feel like we still haven't seen a lot of it, at least on like the English side of things. I know Japan's been doing a lot of stuff that we'll talk about, but that's the reason I left that 1.5 off.
Completely fair. On my hand, I would have to give it a 9 out of 10. That's what I had in mind before we started recording. So we're right there at the same place. Very excited for the game. It's my most anticipated game for this year. It's not a 10 because I'm thinking about SMT5, and SMT5 was a 10. Like SMT5, it was years of hype getting built up over the years, over the months. Soul Hackers 2 did it better, in my opinion. Revealed in February, released in August. That's a banger in my mind. If they could always do that, that'd be awesome. So yeah, 9 out of 10, very, very exciting stuff overall. But everything surrounding the marketing and just the build up to the release was really interesting. And we'll start discussing that with the Collector's Edition of the game. Collector's Edition got revealed and went up for pre-order 2 days or 3 days after the game was revealed for Japan. Play Asia, Ami, Amazon Japan, they were doing exportation, so it was possible to import from Japan that collector's edition, but obviously no English vocals, no English text, nothing. So it was just a collector's item, which is actually what I'm giving away, by the way. Cool collector's edition, right? Everything that comes with it is cool. Pricing was about $150 Canadian, all things considered, for the price of the collector's edition in Japan. There was no words of a Western collector's edition that was revealed months after to be a collector's edition exclusive to the Western shop for Atlus, the official Atlus shop. The thing was $200. $200 plus a $25 flat rate worldwide shipping. Now I'm a simp, so I bought it. I bought the Japanese one, I bought the Western one as well.
Dick Ryder.
Yeah, that's not because I'm rich. I'm completely poor, but I just make bad decisions sometimes. I know you have a lot to say about this thing, so why don't you tell to our listeners here what do you think about this practice / pricing / collector's edition for Soul Hackers 2?
I'll give you my good and my bad. The one good thing about it is that it looks really cool. Everything else about it to me is bad. The pricing, how they're shipping it to you, I mean, just $200. Okay, you can go on Play Asia right now and buy the Asia, not the Japan exclusive, but the Asia version of the game, the collector's edition, for $120. Not bad. Play Asia also offers worldwide shipping over $100 for free. Fantastic. Of course, you're not getting an English version of the game, but still, you are saving some money. So, I believe that when SMT5 released, they did their collector's edition as well. It was around $120. I thought that was fair. But to me, the Iho figure, the little bird plush, whatever the bird's called, you get a soundtrack. It's not even a fucking CD. It's a flash drive. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just screams like... The Steelbook looks cool, but it just screams cash grab. I feel like Atlus wanted to instill the fear of missing out on people. So they put it on their shop. They knew that there was a demand for this. Now, maybe a very limited demand, but there was still demand for this. So they put it up, marked it as high as they can, and send it out. I just think everything about that collector's edition is... It's cool on the outside, but once you look at the details about it, the pricing and everything, and the fact that it's an Atlus shop exclusive for those worldwide as well, it's complete shit. I'm sorry. I want to support it, but I can't in my right consciousness. My wallet and my conscience won't agree with me.
Completely fair, and my biggest complaint here is... Yeah, all the things that you mentioned I would have to agree with, even though I bought it. But I do want to add, the fact that it's an Atlus shop exclusive is terrible for anyone outside of the US, because they kind of fixed their shipping rates for the USA, but anyone outside of the States, we're still struggling. I was trying to pre-order that Jack Frost head. That was like, I think it was 20 USD shipping. So I'm like, it's really rough. $25 is what I paid for shipping for that collector's edition, and I hate it. I'd rather, for that price at $200, most retailers would ship it for free. So it sucks. It sucks, and I'm sure I'm gonna have to pay like border fees too for that. So it is, yeah, it's really crazy. Enough about the collector's edition though. Something's worse. Something's worse in my opinion, and that would be the day one DLC. Now, I did my research, and there's 4 DLC packs that you can buy, and total in Canadian, that's $54 before taxes for the 4 packs of DLC, which is actually $20 cheaper than the main game by itself. That's Canadian currency, okay? Now, I want to defend him a little bit because there's 3 out of those 4 packs that are fine as day one DLCs in my mind. There's the 4th one that has no right to be there. And that's an issue that we have with SMT5 as well, and I honestly hate to see it. The 3 packs that I feel like are arguably they're fine as a day one DLC, right? They're a corporate business. They want to make money, right? Capitalism. XP booster packs, like I couldn't care less. It's like, yeah, okay. It's if you want to pay
common
for
practice.
That. Exactly. Common practice. Unfortunately, it's a common practice. Okay. Costume packs, same things. Okay, I can live with that. Demon packs, so demons that are like locked behind a paywall that you generally would be able in other SMT games to recruit, well now they're unavailable. And we're talking popular demons like Mara, for example. So that's rough. That's a little rough. But what isn't fine is the $13 story DLC. It has a new story arc. It has a bonus dungeon as well. And that's a day one DLC that you can purchase at launch. So it's all cut content that is ready to go at launch, but that you would have to pay $54 to get. And that's a practice that I honestly hate to see it. I have to criticize them for that because it sucks. It's a bad business practice in my mind.
Totally agree. Yeah, 1000% agreed. It's just, it feels so scummy. It feels like something EA would do, honestly. Locking behind content that's, you know, I get the story pack and everything if they want to sell, like, if you pre-order, here, you get the story pack. That's one thing. Because I'm sure the story pack won't be much. I mean, let's face it, I don't think it'll be that much. It says it's a bonus dungeon, but who knows how long it's going to be. How much is that pack?
$13 Canadian. So it's not too pricey. It's about
$10.
Yeah. So it's not too bad. It's like I'm thinking about Lost Judgment. I think that would be Sega's latest big release or something, or at least one of them. And there was the Kaito files that was similar, but that launched after the game was done, and months after. Like Lost Judgment came out in September of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's that story DLC called the Kaito files that was awesome, by the way. That dropped 6 months after, or is it 7 months? I think it dropped in March of this year or something.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
And it was awesome. And you see, that's the type of content that I'm like, man, it's almost half a year after the initial launch, so I don't feel like I'm getting robbed, if that makes sense, versus the day one story DLC that is locked behind a paywall. There's also the digital deluxe edition of the game. We've been complaining about that thing. That's basically their way of selling you the game with all the DLC and give you access to the game earlier. So they know that big fans like us who want to play the game as quickly, as early as possible, we want to pay a little bit more to play it early. Well, they're pushing all the DLC down our throats so we can play it 2 days early in that case. The game releases on August 26th. If you get the digital deluxe edition of the game, you get to play it on the 24th. But you have to buy all the DLC with it. And you save like $3 versus buying them all separately. So again, just another thing that I feel like is a little bummer in my mind.
I just want to say, they did not do that shit for SMT5 because Nintendo shut that down. I know that if they could have, they would have.
Yep, I would think so.
Just that Nintendo said, nope, no digital deluxe edition.
But there was still a bunch of day one DLC for SMT5.
Right.
And that's I hate it. I don't like it. I really don't.
I hate it too.
I feel like the Nintendo thing that you brought up is a great transition into our other topic, and that's one of the main topics for today, the sales potential of the game. Whew. I know that both of us are interested in like video game sales, Japanese games, how many copies they sell. It's always an interesting thing to discuss. SMT5 was awesome. The sales, everything was great to see both the success, but also just speculating around it was great. Now, Soul Hackers 2 is releasing worldwide. It is releasing on all the platforms but the Switch. And obviously it's the elephant in the room, right? The Switch version. It's been the main topic, or at least one of the topics for surrounding Soul Hackers 2 ever since it was revealed, because the game looked like it can run on the Switch. If you drop it at 30 frames, lower the resolution, it looks like a Switch game, to be perfectly honest. SMT5 is the best-selling game in the SMT series. It's an exclusive to the Switch system. It outsold the best mainline SMT game in 3 months, selling over 1 million already. Nocturne HD Remaster sold best on Nintendo Switch, more than on Steam and on PlayStation. Persona 5 Strikers is a game that was ported to Switch, but the original Persona 5 wasn't on Switch when it dropped, and it still sold super well. And the most impressive one out of all of them probably is 13 Sentinels, a 2-year-old port of a Vanillaware game, was ported with pretty much no new content, some extremely minor things, full price on Switch, and it did almost as well as the original release on PS4 2 years prior. So it makes you wonder, right? It makes you wonder. What do you think?
Just want to say it also doubled the sales of P4AU. I just wanted to say that as well.
It did.
To trash on that release as well.
I mean,
okay, Narukami hates P4AU. No, I don't. I don't hate it. I liked it. Watch my video, my review.
One of the games is a masterpiece. The other one's pretty mid. So.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimate.
Right.
That's what David calls it, not me, guys. I actually kind of like it.
What do you call Xenoblade, though?
Xenomid.
Let's keep going.
I still stand by that right now because it's kind of boring me.
Good game, good game. What do you think? Sales potential, Soul Hackers. Are you worried? Let me just phrase it that way. Because, am I worried? No. Do I think it's a missed opportunity of not having it on Switch at launch? Yes. Certainly. What do you think?
It's an odd decision for sure, I think. You know, you could say, you know, it takes time to port stuff to Switch, and, you know, maybe this game wasn't meant for Switch hardware. It is older hardware from 2017. We're 5 years into that console's life cycle, and it was already outdated when it released its components and everything. I do believe a Switch port is coming. Until then, I know people are going to be, oh, they're just dick riding the Switch over here. Oh, what a bunch of fucking port beggars. Click off the video now if you're just here to say that in the comments. Fuck you. I mean, it's not like we need it on Switch.
Because we don't.
If you look at the numbers, though, this is a JRPG. Guess where JRPG sell best in? Japan. Number one console in Japan is Switch.
By far.
Now, I do think, yes, by far. It's not even a contest. I do think we're going to get a Switch port eventually. Now, will hype wear down by then? I don't know. Maybe Atlus will actually market it well for the Switch release. But I'm not too worried about it. I think that the release of another game soon might hinder the sales a little bit, but we'll get into that. But I think it'll do decent. It's not going to do SMT5 numbers for sure, but I think it'll do decent enough.
And to add on top of what you just said, I also fully expect a Switch version later down the line. Definitely if they did it for games like 13 Sentinels, Persona, all the modern Persona games, which again, they're the next topic for this video. Yes, Soul Hackers 2 definitely will happen. It's a sure bet, because if the game underperforms, well, let's just put a little bit more money into it. Let's sell it to an audience that is asking for it and that on paper buys these types of games. Let's give it a final shot. And if it sells well, let's just dump a little bit of money into a port and let's get even more revenue with a Switch version.
And I will say, people cannot use this as an excuse anymore. P5R is going to run just fine on Switch. I think Soul Hackers 2 is using the same engine as P5R, so don't tell us that it can't run on Switch.
The Persona announcements. A few weeks back, Persona 5 Royal, Persona 3 Portable, and Persona 4 Golden. What an order to list them. They're all coming to all modern platforms. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. PC, of course. 2 months before Soul Hackers 2 releases. Persona...
Not even 2 months. Not even 2 months, David.
Not even 2 months, right. So, that's interesting. And I've been getting this question so often, and that's one of the main reasons why I thought about making this video and this discussion with you, man, is because of that. Are these Persona ports, are these Persona announcements, and at the time that they were revealed, and both at the time that they are going to release, are they going to be a nuisance to Soul Hackers 2 sales potential? Is the game going to sell less because Persona 5 is releasing 2 months after on all the same platforms?
I will say this. Of course, we're not getting P4G or P3P yet. That's next year. I will say this, and you're going to give me your honest answer to it. If you put two $60 games side by side, you have Soul Hackers 2, and you have Persona 5 Royal, and you have somebody that has not played either of those games on an Xbox or Steam or whatever, or Switch, which one do you think they're going to choose to play?
One of them is the, not the best, but one of the best rated JRPG of the last decade. One of them is well known and has hit the mainstream audience. It has mainstream appeal. The other one is a sequel to a 25-year-old Sega Saturn JRPG. I'll just say that. So unfortunately, right. I feel like the choice is easy. But at the same time, there's a 2 months gap between P5R releasing and Soul Hackers 2 releasing. Some people, they have the budget for 3 games per year. Others, they buy 3 games per month, per week. So does it have an impact? Will it have an impact?
It's hard to say.
I think
it's hard to say.
I think so, but I don't think it demolished it. The main thing isn't even the release. It's the discussion around the game. I don't see anyone talking about Soul Hackers 2 anymore. After June, honestly, no one. It was calm before June. It was. But once June hit with all the Persona reveals, I'm sad to say that I just don't hear anyone talk about the game anymore, or at least not as many people as there used to be. And that can only lead me to believe that, hey, I think it's gonna, people are slowly but surely forgetting about Soul Hackers 2. And the marketing didn't help it. It didn't.
No.
In Japan, they're doing great. They're doing what they did with SMT5, Demon Reveal every day, summoners, guides. bunch of preview trailers, great stuff. Live streams too. Great marketing. In the West, they missed such an opportunity of showing this game, showing the dub in a great way at the Summer Games Fest. Say whatever you want about Summer Game Fest. Did I like the show? No, not at all. But there was a lot of eyes on the show. And Atlus should have made sure that they had something to show. Why not do some type of overview trailer revealing the dub at the show? So many eyes were on it. Hey, what's this JRPG? The whole show's been ass. Shit, this looks good. Why not do that? Now, they had one of the most forgettable trailers in the whole show. It was like a minute trailer of things we already saw with 2 lines of dub. Like, it feels like, at least the Western branch of Atlus, it feels like they're not even trying with Soul Hackers 2. And I hate to say that.
You know, I'm sure that the marketing will ramp up very soon. Because we are about a month from release. But if they're going to ramp it up, P4AU got better marketing than this.
It's
that's
rough.
Something.
It's rough because, and we talked about the sale before, but right now with what they're doing around the release, I honestly feel like in 3 months, I don't think it can outsell SMT5 on all the platforms combined. I don't think it can.
It's not going to come anywhere near close to SMT5 numbers. I'm sorry to say it, but it's not. As much as I want the game to succeed, we both do. We want a Soul Hackers 3 one day. We want the game to sell. It's just...
Yeah, plus
it's
Sega,
not meant to be.
They want the game to sell too, and I'm always bringing this up. But they had in their slide for their 2021 financial report, they had one slide where they were explaining to their investors what they want to do with their IPs. And there was like the pillar titles, the pillar IPs, and the secondary IPs. And the secondary IPs were mostly smaller type of IPs that they have that they don't know what to do, like Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, things of that nature. And then on the other side, they had their big IPs like Sonic and stuff, and they had Atlus IPs. And for Atlus, they had Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, and Soul Hackers. So they want to make Soul Hackers its own thing, its own IP, not some type of SMT spinoff anymore, not some type of Devil Summoner spinoff anymore. So for that reason, they wanted to succeed. It shows. They're telling their investors that they wanted the game to succeed. But right now, it's not looking too hot for Soul Hackers 2. And it sucks because whenever I look at trailers, whenever I look at gameplay, I'm always crazy excited. The game looks amazing, and I cannot wait to play it. It just looks that great. The music sounds awesome. The characters are great. Leading female protagonist, that's awesome. The gameplay is going to be fire. We know it's always fire, so
yes.
I'm just excited, but it's a bummer.
Don't let all this negative energy that we're putting out in this video, because people could see as a little negative. There's just so many problems. It's not with the game itself inherently. It's just almost everything else that's surrounding it.
And that's unfortunately the case often with Atlus. Their games... When is the last time that I complained about the content in an Atlus game?
Oh, well, that's 65!
Not me.
Not me either.
I think like the last time, if you don't count P4AU, because I didn't really complain because it was a $30 digital release, I think the last time was probably Persona 3 Dancing or something. Like, they're great with their game releases, but it feels like they're mismanaged at times, and you hate to see it, but they're improving. They're bringing their games to modern platforms slowly but surely is what they're doing, and it's great first steps. That's what I'm saying, and I'm just glad that they're doing something with the Soul Hackers IP again. We discussed a lot of things today. What do you guys think about the topics that we discussed? What do you think about the sales potential of Soul Hackers 2? Are you bummed as we are about the Day 1 DLC, the Collector's Edition, things of that nature? Do you agree, disagree with the topics that we talked about? Feel free to drop a comment below and let us know. A quick thumbs up would be a big help as well if you enjoyed this discussion video. Don't forget to show my friend here some love. Link to his channel down in the description below. And good luck if you decide to enter the Soul Hackers 2 Collector's Edition giveaway. Have a great day, y'all. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
See ya.